Well, hello again, everybody, and welcome to the latest video. Another treat in store for you today, going through a very beautiful area in the far south of Catalonia, not far from the border with Valencian community and Aragon. So, point of reference, we are I'm going to say that's about 180 kilometers to the south of Barcelona down the coast. There is a direct train you can get down there. We start at a railway station here in the town of Camales, where I got off the train here and started, and going down into the Ebro Delta. This is officially a European destination of excellence, so you can't really argue with that. Going through a lot of rice paddies, because they do produce a lot of rice down here, which is the what they call arroz bomba, which is the kind of the rice they use in paella. And you've also got fruit orchards, very, very beautiful. And it was a beautiful day. So really nice visuals down there. And then hitting the coast, we go through a few of these little seaside villages here around the edge of Montsia and through some more towns and villages and numerous points of interest there, which I'll point out on the way, and some lovely views. So very much a ride of two halves if you look at the profile. First half, absolutely pan flat, and then all the climbing comes in the second half. So I don't know if that's better or worse, but not too excessive. Comes in about 700 meters of climbing, more or less, and distance-wise, a touch under 95 kilometers. So need to be in fairly decent shape, but not too much of a struggle. So we'll be coming around here and crossing back over the river and finishing here in the town of La Aldea, which is where I hopped on the train to go home, the same line that comes down from Barcelona. And there's a little detour here to a hermitage and an old medieval tower, which again has a lot of history attached to it, which we'll see on the rides. But I think that's enough of me yakking on. I think it is now time for us to come to the video. So we're starting here from the station of Camales del Tebre. So there goes my train. That's the R16 that comes down out of Barcelona. And a nice bright and early start, about 8:15 on a beautiful November day. And coming into the delta here, we can already see some of these rice paddies where they produce the arroz bomba, which is the rice that's used in paella, or as we call it in Britain, paella. So the delta is 320 square kilometres, and it's where the mighty Ebro River, which flows down from the mountains in the north of Spain, finally comes into the sea here in the south of Catalonia. And 80 kilometres squared of it is a nature reserve. As well as rice, there's fruit orchards down here as well. And here we're just crossing the Ebro, coming across at this point. So just rolling through the village of San Jaume de Enveja. It was a Sunday morning, so bells are ringing. That's authentic, I didn't dub them on. And more of the delta here. If you're a fan of very long, straight, flat roads, you'll absolutely love this, because it's really pan flat at this point of the ride. They're going to hang a left here, just coming onto this road, which is a little bit of a bumpy road surface, but not too bad. And you can see Montsia coming into view on the right side there, and we are apparently -5 5 metres below sea level here, according to the Garmin. And there's Montsia dead ahead. There's no roads right over the middle of it, so we will be going round the left side of it a little bit later. Quite a lot of other bikers out here today and this enjoying this beautiful morning in this beautiful place. More of these long straight roads here. I think before you come down here to ride, it would be worth checking out the weather forecast for the wind speed, because if you're going into a headwind at this point, you're going to have a bit of a nightmare. Interesting effect with the shadow on the right here. I look like some kind of tiny homunculus riding a bike. So make a left here as we come onto the main road and head for La Rapita. So here's the tourist office here. As you can see, there's a lot to enjoy in the area from the pictures there. So you can take the main road for this section, but I thought I'd have a nice little tool along by the beach. Oh, look at me go! I was being chased by a dog here. And this is the Faro de la Rapita. It's a lighthouse that dates back to the 19th century. It's a really nice looking building there. And a bit more seaside roll in here. But you have to get off it and back onto the main road at some point, so here we are. The one thing about the main roads here is you do often get this space over on the right here, which can make it a little bit safer. And we're coming into the village of Las Casas del Canar, and this is a nice little seaside village here, and we'll go down and have a look at the church. So it was a Sunday morning, so we'll just roll up there and have a little nose inside. They were preparing for the morning service here. It's very, very maritime looking church here, which according to my research was built around 1871. Church of San Pedro, which is an unusually Spanish sounding name for Catalonia, although we are in the far south of Catalonia here. And there's a nice road here rolling along by the sea. And a bit of horse and cart action here. And this place looked like it might be a really nice place to stay. Less than yet. Sort of camping caravan park here. Word to the wiser if you do want to come camping down here on the Delta. As a friend of mine found out, if you're one of those people who mosquitoes love, you're going to have a pretty hard time, because apparently they are pretty rampant down here. So we take this country lane towards the town of Alcanar. I did take a little bit of a detour before I got there, and I went, just because I've got a bit of a foible about crossing borders, and I went over into the Valencian community and took a bit of a bad turn and ended up going through some mud
and getting a mud pie on each of my brake calipers, which took me ages to get off. I had to use a bottle of almost a whole bidon of water to get the mud off. And then I sort of got back on the route. So we're going through Alcanar now. Not sure if there's many real points of interest there, so I didn't linger. But after this, we start climbing, and yes, a very beautiful countryside here. A lot of terracing, as you can see, for agriculture. Just coming over the top of this, and there's some really lovely views up here. And then we descend towards our next town, Udecona. A bit tricky to pronounce some of these Catalan place names with two L's in them. I suppose U-double-L needs to be pronounced kind of like U. But you have to listen to the locals to practice that one. Bit of a bad overtake from this driver who's overtaking the cyclist coming towards us. I was not too impressed. And this is Udecona, which we're rolling through now. Again, I didn't spend much time here, but there is a castle which I completely missed, I'm afraid, so I'll let you down there, but next time, eh? We've got this lovely tree-lined road, bit of autumn gold there. So here's our next bit of climbing, but it's well worth it for the views we get when we get over the top. And coming up in just a moment, the payoff as we come over and we get a view of this this beautiful valley here. Extensive olive cultivation down here, so if you buy Spanish olive oil, it could well be from here. There's a long history of cultivation in this land, going back to ancient times. So a bit more climbing here as we come up and over into the village of Godai. Very, very sleepy agricultural town here. And I popped into that cafe on the left there for a quick coffee. And then on with the show. We come into the village of La Galera, and our next point of interest, which is coming up here, the Torre de la Galera, which is a defensive structure dating from the 14th century, as this was the really the border between the territory of the king and the Knights Hospitaller, who were so cool because if you mess with them, they'd put you in hospital. They were the gentleman thugs of their age. At the turn of the 17th and the 18th century, the building was consecrated as a church and took on a new life. And now we're coming into the town of Amposta. And we're going to cross back over the river via this very fine looking bridge, the Puente Colgante d'Amposta, which was built between 1915 and 1921, designed by Jose Eugenio Ribera. Apparently was inspired by the Brooklyn Bridge. I love a good suspension bridge. Now, our finishing town today is La Aldea, but there is this really nice little detour down to the Ermita de la Aldea and also the Torre de la Aldea. The name La Aldea is actually Arabic in origin and dates back to the time where this was part of Moorish Spain. In Arabic, Aldaya meaning little village. So the tower is actually a reconstruction of the old medieval tower, but it was there to protect the farmhouse. But the other structure we have here is the church of Madre de Deo de la Aldea. Madre de Deo meaning Mother of God, and this structure went up in the 18th century, although on this site there was a church going back to about 1148, and you can also see the remains of the old medieval village there as well. And then over behind it here there's what looks like some kind of water wheel. And then we can take these fairly rough roads back up to the railway station here. So that's it, I jumped on the train up here. So once again, thanks for joining me on this one. I hope you'll be able to get down to do this ride, or come and ride this area. Absolutely stunning. So thanks for your company, and see you out on the road.